How you doing this morning? Friday morning, and it's beautiful, beautiful day. It's going to be our day of summer in the UK. That's it. Today, today is thinking into results day. Every day is a thinking into results day, and this one's all about risk taking, and it's to do with do you want something different to happen? Because if you keep wishing for it and you just keep having it here in your conscious mind, then nothing is ever going to happen. You've got to get emotionally involved with it and actually take an action. Yeah? You've got to actually take an action. Otherwise, nothing different is going to happen. If you keep bouncing back to safety and keep bouncing back to security and keep bouncing back to feeling comfortable, then you'll always have what you've always got. So stop thinking that another course, another qualification is going to make any difference. You've got a knowing doing gap. You know how to do more, but you're not doing it. You've got to take an action. Yeah? An action. That could be anything. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. But stop trying to connect the dots going forward, because if you keep connecting the dots going forward, then guess what? They're just the same as the dots you've just connected going back. You know, people think, oh, I want to make a quantum leap. But if we're making a quantum leap, it means you're not ready for it. You're always taking the next step. That's all you can take. It's just that when you shift things inside of you, that when you look back, you realize that you've taken a quantum leap, but you never go into a quantum leap. Yeah, it just happens naturally because you kept taking tiny steps that were different from the last tiny steps. Do you get it? So this article here is about risk taking. It says the dictionary tells us that to risk is to expose oneself to the chance of loss. And see, that's what you're scared of, isn't it? I suppose that's true. Here's another article. To laugh is to risk appearing the fool. To weep is to risk appearing sentimental. To reach out for another is to risk involvement. To expose feelings is to risk exposing your true self. To place your ideas, your dreams before a crowd is to risk their loss. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To live is to risk dying. To hope is to risk despair. To try is to risk failure. You may avoid suffering and sorrow if you don't risk, but you simply cannot learn, feel, change, grow, love, or live. The greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing does nothing, thus has nothing. Only a person who risks is free. And you may say, but Jean, I'm comfortable where I am. We're either growing or dying. Yeah? That's why Bob Proctor, listen, at 86, is still growing, because he knows if he stops, he's disintegrating. He's going the other way. There is only one way that we want to go, unless you really are like that, you know. I mean, we hate it whenever somebody dies really quickly and we go, my goodness, that's terrible. But isn't that better than a slow death? Like, what age are you where you're like going, well, I'm 74, so my life's over? No, it's not. There's so much you can do still. What if you're still here? You're still here. You've got something to give the world. Then if you're in your 50s and 60s, you think, oh, well, maybe it's just too late to start again. No way. You've got 50, 40 years. What can you do? Yeah? It just because the first 50 were hard doesn't mean the next 50 are hard. Stop bringing the past into the future and you might find something different happening. Stop writing your life off. What can you do? I mean, it says risk taking. It just means just do something different that's uncomfortable. When it's uncomfortable, it means it's growth. You see, when we come from logic, we're coming from our left brain and everything we've already done. Yeah? Whenever you do something different, it's because, so here's your neurons are all literally, they've got a little path in your head or in your body, and they're all like, oh, this is the path. This is the path. Well worn, through the field. This is the path, yeah? But you're trying a new path. So in your brain, you've got neurons all over the place. It can take you anywhere, but you have to hop, 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 because there's no path created yet. That's only why it feels uncomfortable. It's not because, oh, it's not right for me. If it was right for me, it would have happened. No, you're creating new neural networks in your mind and in your body. And it's just they're not connected, so it feels, every jump feels different and weird. But the more you do it, it starts to connect, yeah? And the more you have that feeling of, I've got to do something different, then just do it. Doesn't matter what it is, even if it's somebody asks you to go and do the Tough Mudder, you know, and you just go, oh, I don't want to do it, but it's making me feel uncomfortable. So you know what? I'm going to do it. Yeah, go do something that you've never done before. It doesn't matter how big or small. It doesn't have to be a big decision, but just do that. Make decisions quickly. Yeah, and just do something different, because you never know what it might stimulate in your body. It means you're alive. If we keep going down into safety, so say, like this one, to risk being loved is to risk, what is it? To love is to risk not being loved in return. It doesn't matter. Love regardless of you being hurt. Because if you protect yourself, guess what? Love can't get in either. What causes individuals to shy away from taking a risk, even if it is a low risk, will give them something they really want. Well, certainly high on most people's list would be fear of loss, failure, and perceived humiliation. Why would we automatically think we would fail at something? Why wouldn't we first try and see that if we did fail, learn from that experience and move on? What causes these thoughts of inferiority? It dates back to our little life, and since risk taking is likely not a subject that's taught in school, a person's fear of taking risks might stem back from before they can even remember. When you were a child taking your very first steps, it wasn't uncommon to hear one of your parents say, "Be careful, you might fall," or "Don't do that." Through some of this, rhetoric, and you don't really pay much attention to it. For some, it begins the pattern of life, of playing life safe. Many of the greatest lessons you'll receive in life is going to come from your falling, from your failings. Why is it that we do not see the process of reaching our goals as having these steps similar to the ones a baby must take in order to learn to walk? There will be some stumbling and falling in the learning process, but success can only be reached when we're prepared to take those steps, all of them, even the ones where we may fall down. Isn't that true? If there's a little baby, so my beautiful granddaughter, she's learning how to walk, and you just go, yay, look at you. And then when she falls down, you go, oh, come on, you help her back up again, or she'll figure it out. So we either get in people's way, or we shout at ourselves. Like, we're trying something new. I bet whenever you learned how to drive a car before, like, you didn't know how to do it, and it was all clunky, and oh my goodness, how am I supposed to drive a car and hold the steering wheel and do the pedals and do my hands and actually know where I'm going at the same time? That's the same with everything. It feels uncomfortable, but you keep going. Cant is a word that paralyzes any constructive process. It switches your mind into a negative frequency. It is a 4-letter word that will open your mind to a never-ending flow of logical, practical reasons which will enable you to justify why you are not able to do something you sincerely want to accomplish. Whenever you say, like, oh, well, let me just rationalize this. You're rationing your thinking, you're rationing the truth, you're rationing your potential. And then people say, well, we've got to get into reality, Sheena. But reality is the evidence of the past. Stop bringing it into the future. This now creates the next now. Stop letting the last now create the next now. Do you get it? Yeah, you don't know your limitless possibility. There's so much you don't know, but you think you know it all. So you're planning the future with what you know, which is just the past. It's just, yeah, you've got limitless potential. What is that? The only alternative to that 4-letter word is its polar opposite, I can. It is far more important than IQ. You don't necessarily have to be smart to win, but you must be willing. Imagine if you said, like, in the Peter Pan story, isn't it? Instead of going, what if I can't fly? Oh, but what if you can, Peter? What if you can? Reaching the goal is not success. Success is moving forward towards the goal. You are successful today. Set a worthy goal. And I don't mean the types of goals that you had in the office and work, something that inspires you. How do you want to live your life? What have you always wanted to do? Well, think it's possible now. It is possible. Taking risks is essential when you want to reach a goal, and the purpose of goals is growth. It's not to reach the goal. How many times have you had what you wanted and you got there and you went, oh, what's next? So don't you see? It's the growth that we're looking for. We're always looking to grow. Stop thinking there's ever going to be an end. The end is when it's the end of our body. It's just growth, and your spirit is calling out for growth. And if you don't grow, then you either feel depressed, frustrated, anxious, worried. Are you feeling that now? Because there's a difference in having the fear of growth, because you're in the middle of something that you know you're growing towards and you don't know what's happening next, to the fear and anxiety and depression. You see, whenever we feel all those emotions, we depress them down and we stuff them down. But if you were to go forward into something, say yes, and just step forward, you just don't know what's going to happen. Decide this very moment there will be no more playing it safe, no more saving it for a rainy day type of thinking in your life. When people get caught up in the habit of saving for a rainy day, that's generally what they get, a rainy day. Do you hear it? Oh, I'm saving this for a rainy day. No. Or I've got a bottle of champagne, I'm going to save it for a really good occasion. Today's a really good occasion. Never leave a bottle of champagne on the shelf. Like, that's just terrible. It's for drinking. Keep the bottle on the shelf, that's fine, but make sure it's empty. Yeah, today you're alive. Today is a good day, and especially since it's probably our only day of summer in the UK, today is a good day. Go do something amazing, something that you've always wanted to do. Go book something. Take the step forward. If you haven't got the money for it, but you can come up with a deposit, put the deposit on, say to the universe, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And make a demonstration of something. We're here for experience, not knowing. You must turn your back on safety and security. To make it big, you must take big risks. You will very likely have to put yourself in a highly vulnerable position. It is also worth remembering you cannot almost take a risk. You cannot almost do something. You do it or you don't do it. You don't think about it. Here's the thing about thinking. When you're thinking, you're in your paradigms, you're in your programming. Quit thinking. Use Mel Robbins' idea, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You get an idea? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. It stops your paradigms from coming up and so you get it in your heart. You want to do it, and then chirpy, chirpy, chirp, chirp. Yeah? Quit that thinking. That's your paradigms. Yeah? What did you feel that you wanted to do? Follow it. Yeah? Follow it. Did it make you feel good? Did it fill you full of hope? Follow it. Eleanor Roosevelt said, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. Follow her advice and liberate yourself from the crippling emotional state of fear and enter into a world of freedom. I know Will Smith actually is jumping out of a helicopter or a plane, and he says, freedom is on the other side of fear. It really is. Whenever you step forward and you do something different, you get to the other side. Oh my goodness, that's the feeling of freedom, and it's awesome. It's totally awesome. But then here's the next thing. We hit the next level, but you got to do it all over again. That's life. Life isn't, don't touch me, don't touch me. I've been hurt before. Everybody's been hurt before. Everybody. Nobody came here. Nobody came to this life and got away without being hurt. We're all going through a journey, whatever that journey is. You may say, but mine's bigger and worse than everybody else's journey. If you say it is, then it is. So how do you want to live? Do you want to live with that story? Or do you want to live with a possibility story? You keep talking about what you don't want. You keep getting what you don't want. Today's complaints are tomorrow's manifestations. Yeah? What if today's joy and you did something different? Something, if you've not had fun for a while, go risk having fun. Go risk, I don't know, go risk just having a lot of fun and laughing out loud and dancing silly, whatever. I don't know. Go risk it. Go risk telling somebody you love them. Who cares? If they don't respond back, who cares? You just feel good and stop looking for the outcome. Just be the cause. The effects will take care of themselves. Have an awesome day today, guys. Have an awesome weekend. I'm sure I'll see you sometime over the weekend. See ya.